Welcome to another Unboxing Board Games. I'm Jesse, and this time we're going to take a look at Grimoire. This is a Japanese card game. It's currently only available in Japan. The game is accessible because it's printed bilingual in both Japanese and English. It's published by OneDraw, and it's for 2 to 4 players. Playable in about 15 to 30 minutes, ages 10 and up. It's designed by Hayato Kisaragi. Let's take a look inside. This is a fantasy game. It's not really a dungeon crawl or anything, because there's not, despite the cover, there's no monsters in the game. You're assembling a fantasy party of characters collecting treasure. The point of the game is to collect the most victory points. Inside we've got Japanese rules and the English rules manual. It's in black and white. Just a few short pages there. And this is like the playing mat. And each player doesn't need one of these. This is basically just going to organize all of the cards and playing material in the center of the table for everyone. Now the neat thing about this game is you're going to be doing action selection based on the page that you select out of these Grimoire. And that's an ancient book, a magic book. So each of the players is going to get one of these victory point tokens, and they go in this pool over here. We got some 2-point tokens and some 5-point tokens. So you got this one indicator chip here that is going to indicate the max page number that you can go to. So there's a track along the bottom of the sheet here that indicates the fact that I can only use the first 6 pages in my book. In the next round, this is going to go up to 7, and so the 7th page in the book is unlocked. Next round goes to 8, and so on. Just trying to eliminate some of the glare there for you. The last tokens that this game comes with is the player order tokens. The player order is determined by who selected the earliest page in the book. So if somebody selected page 2 and the other players selected pages 3, 4, and 5, then the guy who chose to use the action on page 2 gets to go first. He takes that token. There's things that can change the order of play, so these tokens are important in that regard. So each player is going to have those tokens in front of them as the turn progresses. Then you've got these bookmarks, each of a different color. They match the colors of the Grimoire books. So, for example, if I'm going to play the red player, I'll take the red fire bookmark and stick that in my Grimoire book. And lastly, we've got a couple of stacks of cards in the bottom of the box. Got item cards, and we'll put those on the item deck here, and quest cards. We'll put those over here on the quest stack. And the first thing that we're going to do during a turn is place a quest card face down and remaining quest cards face up, as indicated by this playing mat here. It tells us that if we're just playing a 2-player game, then these are the only face-up cards. But it's saying here that if we're playing a 3 or 4-player game, that we're going to place a face-up card here as well. And if we were playing a full 4-player game, that we'd also have another face-up card here. This area here is for discards. So that kind of explains the middle of the playing surface to the players. So if we start out on the first space there along the track, and I was to take my first turn, I'll stick my bookmark into the book on the page that I want. So for example, I'm going to place my bookmark on page 3, which is the fireball. You can see the pages on the left, they're in Japanese, and the pages on the right is the exact same spell in the book written in English. So I'm going to place my bookmark in there and set it on the table, and wait for the other players to choose their actions by placing their bookmarks in the book. So I'm just going to kind of place a couple of these randomly for the other 2 players. So now everybody's done. They've made their selections. Start to reveal our bookmarks. The blue player put his bookmark in page 4. Now he can only go up to page 6, as I mentioned earlier, because the track marker right now is on the 6. But this guy, he chose to go to page 4, which is the cure spell. This is a common spell, and the book says return a victory point chip worth 1 victory point from your territory to the main zone, then take a random discard. Not sure why he chose that, because he's not going to have a victory point. But that's just for the sake of example. I kind of stuck the bookmark in there at random. This guy here, the green player, he opens his book and reveals to all the players that he chose page 1, which is a luck spell. This is also a common spell. The book says choose a card in the main zone and discard it, then take a card from the top of the quest deck and put it in the main zone. So this is a way to change up the cards that are out here open for selection from the quest deck. Lastly, me, the red player, I chose page 3, which is the fireball spell. This is a forbidden type spell. The action is to take a victory point chip worth 1 victory point from the main zone, and it's got a little bit of flavor text down here. So given the spell selections, the guy who did page 1, he's going to get to go first. So he gets this order chip placed in front of him, and then the rest of us get the appropriate order chips based on our page numbers. So this guy's going to go ahead and take a card from the main zone as his luck spell is indicating to him, instructing him to do. So he's going to take this bronze coin, and he's going to discard it. So he's going to put that on the discard pile, and then he's going to take a new card from the top of the quest deck, which happens to be the mercenary, and he's going to place that on the available the area that's available for him to choose a card. So now he's finished that phase of his turn where he's done his Grimoire action, and he gets to pick one of these cards. Now he can pick the card that's face down, or he can pick one of these cards that's out here. I think he's going to want to pick the spy since he's starting off. And this card, you can see the English text here is pretty small print, but I can read it just fine. It says, during the game, you can look at the front of the face-down quest card in the main zone at any time. And it's referring to the main zone as anything on this this sheet of paper here. So I would be able to peek, my next turn I would be able to peek at this card here and determine whether or not I wanted to choose that card or not, and that would be an advantage that the other guys don't have, because I'm going to take this spy card and place it in front of me. So the spy is going to be a companion in my party and enable me to use his abilities, as well as being worth one victory point at the end of the game. So then the next guy, which was me, the red player, I had cast Fireball, which enables me to take a 1 point victory chip from the center, from the main zone, and place that in front of me. So I'm gonna take this, place that in front of me. I've resolved my Grimoire book action, and then I get to take a card from here out of what's left. Now, at this point, I wouldn't know what's under that card there. I might go ahead and take the silver coin, and I'm gonna take this quest card here that says put this card face down in your territory. So I'm gonna place that face down in front of me. It's worth two victory points. Now, there's other cards in the game that allow me to have bonus victory points for collecting sets of coins. So maybe that's what I'm strategizing this time during the game. And then lastly, the third player would take his action from the Grimoire book page that he chose and resolve that action and choose one of these cards that's left. Then when all players are done, let's say he just felt like he would try his luck and he wound up with this gold coin, which, similar to the silver coin from earlier, it's going to get placed face down in front of him. So then the next turn goes by, we discard anything that's left out here and build up this selection of cards again here. Now, just to kind of show you the cards that are in this game, we've got the Nun, the Merchant, and the Archer, and the Thief. And this is no longer part of the game. I'm just going through the cards to kind of show you some of the art and what's in the game. This is the Rogue, and the Prince, the Queen, the King, there's another gold coin, so I think we're starting to repeat. And I'll show you some of the item cards. Some of the actions on those quest cards I was just showing you enable you to grab an item card from the stack. So this is the Bronze Sword, and the Bracelet of Sterling Silver, the Gold Goblet, this is one of the more common item cards. This is Junk, and you only get points if you have the most junk out in front of you. So the game is going to end when somebody has 10 companions out in front of them, or 10 treasure cards in front of them, and then all the players are going to finish the turn, and everybody's going to count up their victory points and see who wins the game. So that's the Japanese card game Grimoire.